after a decent Wyndham Championship. I say decent because I built a lineup I really liked on FanDuel, played it pretty heavy. It sucked in the end because of Siwoo and Julian Surrey. But DraftKings was good. Got 6 of 6 through the cut, although I didn't really have any top guys until Ryan Moore came through at the end there. But I mean, the rest of the team was like Johnson Wagner, Chris Kirk, who else? I think I had Ollie in there. I think I had Varner, and I think I had another guy down there from the 7K range. Nobody really came through for me. I mean, I cashed, but it wasn't great. So yeah, it was a better than nothing week, I would say. I think in total it ended up being even between both sites, but it is what it is. We can move on. We're in the playoffs now. We got a 125-man field here at the Northern Trust. I have not gone through and colorized the spreadsheet yet, but I will do that as we go along in the video. So there's that. I'm going to get rid of this. That's from last week. I will go in, get rid of this. What the hell just happened to my face? Okay. So we'll start here at the top. I've got it sorted by odds right now. These are current odds, so if you watch the Pat Mayo show, I took a look at it. You notice that some of their odds are different. Like Billy Horschel's 100 to 1 on their show. He's now like 66 to 1, 75 to 1 most books. People have been betting him a lot. So I have the updated odds. Whether or not they are, I would say, fair in a lot of cases is questionable. We'll get there too. But so I've got 8 weeks of form, and I've got the 3 times this tournament has been played here in the past. Why do I really care about 2014, 2010, 2008? Well, I think it can give some insight into the type of player that will perform well here. But again, sometimes it's just misleading. So I'm not going to bank on history too much, but I will kind of. I'm never going to hold it against a guy for succeeding here in the past. But it's not the only reason I'm going to play a guy. So start at the top with DJ. DJ, 9th place in 2010 here, miscut 2008, don't really care. DJ should be finishing top 10 at events like this. Coming in, first, third, 27th. Miscut at the Open? Yeah, miscut at the Open. Yeah, I mean, he's DJ. He's number 1 in the world. He tends to do really well in the first playoff event. Last year, he won the first playoff event. I really don't see a reason not to play him. I just don't. I don't really see a reason not to play JT either. They're going to be GPP plays for me because of the price, but FanDuel, I think you can play DJ in all formats. You could probably play JT in all formats too. I don't really see a reason you can't. But these 2 guys for me, sorted by odds, these guys are going to be more of GPP plays for me given their prices. Jason Day, again, I really like him. I really like everyone at the top range of this FanDuel price. There's a case you could make for anyone. In these top 3 of odds, I think, are cash game lock. If you're playing cash on FanDuel, you're probably starting with one of these 3, if not 2, the way it sorts out this week. There's a lot of value that I think is in play. But right here at the top, Jason Day. He might be my favorite of the bunch, although he hasn't really had that top 10 result that we really look for lately. There's just been like his irons just haven't been completely there, which is really holding him back from making that jump. But I do like him this week. I like him a lot, but I don't know if I can pull the trigger in cash games on DraftKings there. I think there's better value for what the range of outcomes is. Brooks, again, gotta like Brooks. I don't really see a reason not to. And if people say, oh, we only shows up in big events, this is a big event. These last 4 tournaments of the year are big money events to get, in a position that you can win the Tour Championship. Like, that you can win the FedEx Cup. Like, this is a lot of money. So, for people that say that Brooks won't show up here, that's just bullshit. When Brooks is on his game, he's one of the top 2 players in the world, and his current ranking is number 2 in the world. So, I don't see a reason not to be on Brooks. I don't know if he's going to be super popular. I just don't think he will get that much ownership. Even on DraftKings at 10-5. I don't think it would be crazy to go overweight on Brooks this week when I think a lot of people are going to be playing Day. I think a lot of people are going to be playing Tiger. I think a lot of people are going to be playing Rose, Rahm, Spieth. I don't think it's crazy to just go overweight on Brooks if that's what you want to do. I'll probably match the field on Brooks because I don't really have a strong take on Brooks over these other guys. If I did, I would be very overweight, but and I would say, most guys, I would say, oh, he's coming off of a major win, he's probably going to fade a little bit. Well, it's not what Brooks does. Like, Brooks doesn't care if he just won. Like, that's not really his style. So for me, I think Brooks is a very strong ownership pivot this week. I like Tiger, but only really in GPPs, if I'm being honest. I think he can have a very strong result here, but I also see some danger. Coming off that PGA Championship result, maybe we get a little bit of a letdown last major of the year. Didn't win a major this year. Maybe, I don't know. But I don't see a reason to play Tiger in cash, but I like it in GPPs. Justin Rose, I like as a very strong cash play. If you look at his game logs, he's finishing top 20 virtually every week. He has upside for more. He had back issues coming into the PGA Championship, still finished 19th. I really don't see a reason not to be on Rose again here. I really like Rahm. Spieth is a GPP play for me. Rahm I really like just because when you look at his results at events that don't punish you a lot, Rahm is right there. He's right there. So for me, Rahm is going to be a play that I'm going to be pretty all in on this week. I really like that FanDuel price 11.6. I think is a little disrespectful for what Rahm is capable of. We saw him really turn it on last year in the FedEx Cup again. So I like Rahm a lot. Spieth for me, I'm not really going to be on him too much, but if he fits in a lineup, I'll play the same lineup with Rahm and Spieth. I'll just swap one guy out of, Rahm or Spieth. I'll swap them out. Maybe Rahm doesn't have that star week. Maybe Spieth finds everything and puts it together. So while I don't really like Spieth as much as Rahm, I think Spieth is in play, despite fading him pretty much outright for the past few weeks. I'm going to drink some of this Topo Chico mineral water, see what it's all about. It's good stuff. Molinari continued the heater at the PGA Championship. And when you think about it, this course sets up really well for Molinari. This is not a long course. It's not a short course, but it's also not it's not a course where you look at the yardage and you just think oh, you're going to need to be a bomber here. It doesn't really work like that. Tree lined, the rough is high. There's no first cut, really. And when you look at guys that have done really well here in the past, the winner, Kuchar, We got Reed, we got Casey, we got Kevin Na, we got, you know, Martin Laird, William McGirt. These guys aren't, I mean, Martin Laird and William McGirt really stick out. Kevin Streelman. These are the guys that I really want to look at when I determine how a course plays, because the studs are good enough where they can show up at any event, any given time. Like, I'm not looking at Jason Day's course history and thinking like, oh, this is a Jason Day track. He's one of the top players in the world. Of course he's going to play well at these events. It's not shocking to me. You know, when you see a guy like Streelman, Laird, McGirt, why have they done well here? That screams to me that this is not a track where you need to be a bomber. And this is actually a track where guys with these finesse games, these course management strategy type guys like McGirt, Streelman, Laird, the anti-bombers, I really do think that they can do better here because of, you know, those results. Those results mean more to me because these guys are not the elite of the elite. These are guys that have to take advantage of their opportunities, much like Ryan Armour did last week, coming in not great form. Well, Ryan Armour doesn't do that at a lot of tracks. Ryan Armour relies on these places, like CT Pan. CT Pan doesn't come in second at events that aren't tailored to him, like the Wyndham is. So, long story short, Molinari, I think, is going to get disrespected here and won't be owned. But, like, would I rather have Rahm than Molinari? Yeah. So the FanDuel price, yeah, I get it. But you could pair Rahm and Molinari, and I like it. You know, I'd probably take Molinari over Spieth, all things considered, with the way that they've both been playing. I mean, that might sound like if I told you that last year at this time, it would be insane. But that's where we are right now. We have to deal with it. So for me, Molinari over Spieth. Fleetwood, I really like Fleetwood. I'm not like all in on Tommy, but I like it. Webb I think is another guy that's a strong play, but I'm not like playing him in cash. Not at these prices. I just think there's better value. There's, you know, I can spend $300 more from Webb to get Molinari, who's finished top 6 in 4 of his last 5, versus Webb, who's got one finish inside the top 12. You know, it's like when you're paying this high, sure, Webb, oh wow, those results, they look great. 4 top 25s in a row. Well, yeah, but when you're paying up this high, you're looking for that stronger upside, and I think Molinari possesses that compared to Webb. I think Fleetwood and Webb, pretty similar, but I think Molinari is a check above. I think Rahm and Rose are a check above, along with Molinari. Tiger, yeah. Brooks, yeah. Day, yeah. JT and DJ up top. I mean, that's kind of the 9K tier right there. So, oh yeah, there's, what do we have here? I sorted it by odds, so, yeah. Hideki is the next up odds-wise. 8,800 on DraftKings I think is great value. He's really coming around. He's coming around. The irons are back. I think this is a great event for him to keep it going. I think he's going to be motivated to keep making a push, so I really like Hideki. I really like Patrick Cantlay as well. 35 to 1 for both of these guys in the 8K range. I like both. I will have both. Cantlay 9,800 on FanDuel is just too cheap. 10.9 Hideki on FanDuel is probably too cheap too. So I'm all in on Cantlay. Sned's coming off that win, emotional win, hadn't won in a while. I'm going to be off of Sned's again here. I was on him last week in GPPs, kind of, but not. I mean, Hideki was right there on FanDuel in terms of price, so I went with Hideki over Sned's. It backfired, of course. But, I mean, I think long-term, Hideki's going to be the better play over Snedeker. It's just last week didn't pan out. And it's really not like Hideki played terribly. It's just that Snedeker went out and put up 59 and won the tournament versus Hideki finishing 11th. So, most weeks I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Just burn when Snedeker went out there. I woke up Thursday, did my business, looked and saw, oh shit, that 1v1 did not go so well. But Snedeker, not really on my radar for this event, gonna be honest. Might have blown the load per se. Adam Scott, people are going to get sucked in by the course history and the fact that he finished third at the PGA Championship. Adam Scott dominates the PGA Championship, which is strange, but he does. He really does. I'm not going to be back on at this price tag. It's just not happening for me. ZJ I like a lot as a safe play. The thing with ZJ is like, this FanDuel price is great. FanDuel price, love it. But look at this DraftKings price, 8,700. When I don't see upside really beyond top 25. I mean, all the numbers point to ZJ finishing like 25th. That's great, but I want more, and I don't know if I'm getting it here from ZJ. So, like, if I'm going ZJ or Hideki, I think Hideki has way more upside. Cantlay over ZJ too for me. So I get it. I get it. I get why you want to play ZJ here. It seems so safe, but ZJ isn't 8K in this field. He's 8,700. 9.9 on FanDuel, I really like that. I think that's a fair price, given where he is in comparison to all these other guys with five-digit prices. But for 99 or for 8,700 on DraftKings, I think you can do better. Finau, I like a lot. No history here, but Finau has shown that he can compete at basically any kind of track. He's a very well-rounded player. People don't realize that. So I like Finau a lot. I like Patrick Reed a lot. This is the kind of course that'll fit him. Keep the ball in play. Great scrambler. The short game is always there for Patrick Reed. So I really like that. I like Casey. I like Kuchar. I like them to have bounce-back weeks. Kuchar, I think, is at the point where I'm going to only really back him at places where he does well. That's kind of where I'm at with Kuchar. I think these are the end times of Kuchar being elite. And I really like, I like the guy a lot as a person, as a player. I respect his game. But for me, just in a field like this, I like it because of the course and because of the fit. But am I going to back Kuchar at every U.S. Open like we used to because he's so consistent? I can't do it. Masters, again, I think I like him there, but I think there's other better plays with more upside, and I just don't see Kuchar having it right now. I like him for this event. Let me be very specific. For this event, I like Matt Kuchar a lot, but going forward, I'm still going to be very, very hesitant. Xander, I think, is a GPP play this week. He will be one of those guys that I think makes or breaks lineups. Depends on how risky you want to get, if you want to play Xander or not. Gary Woodland, one of my favorite plays of the week. I think Gary Woodland might turn out to be the highest owned player of the week. He might be the chalkiest play on the board. I can really see that happening. I think it could be Woodland. If I had to name I'll go top three. Top three highest potential ownership guys this week. I'm going to go Finau, Woodland, Casey. I don't want to say Casey. Finau, Woodland. Shit. This is tough. Cantlay. I'm going to go Cantlay, Finau, Woodland as my top three ownership predictions. on DraftKings. Hatton, I like Hatton this week. I see a lot of merit in this. You know, he's been consistent. He's been keeping the ball in play, and he has a great short game. So when Hatton is on, he can do a lot of damage. The FanDuel price is great because he doesn't play a lot of PGA Tour events, which boosts guys like Webb, Finau, jacks their prices way up. But I really like Hatton on FanDuel this week specifically. DraftKings, I think he is only in play in GPPs as a pivot off of the Casey Kuchar Reed Finau tier. He's right in that middle between that tier and the high sevens where there are popular guys that we'll talk about. But I do like Hatton as an ownership play. Bubba is very interesting to me because he has 3 strong results here, but his form has been super spotty recently. People expected him to do well at the PGA Championship. He did not. I did not expect him to do well at the Open Championship. But then I expected a big bounce back at the Canadian. He did not, and for that reason, I'm going to be fading him. Noren for me, I'm going to be fading Noren. I just don't love him in these American events that I really don't. At the beginning of the year, he was doing really well over here in these normal PGA Tour events, but right in these larger events, in these elite fields, I just don't see it happening. So I'm off of Noren. RCB, I like quite a bit. More of a GPP play for me, but I see the merit in potentially playing him in cash on DraftKings. I'll give him a bold for DraftKings. Okay, so Leishman, I don't really like that much here this week. I'm off Leash. I'm going to be off Louis after that withdraw pre-tee time at the PGA. I mean, that just killed a lot of my lineups, so fuck Louis right now. I'm off. Poulter, I really like. He's been super consistent this year. I think he's a great play in all formats. I like him as a consistency play over Hatton on FanDuel. But I see... I don't know who will be higher owned out of those two. Probably Poulter. So I think that still makes Hatton a better GPP play. And I also think Hatton is more volatile. So Billy Horschel I like a lot. Billy Horschel, great ball striking the last 2 weeks. You know, and when you look at it, you're worried because his long-term results this year have not been great. But 17th, 2nd, missed cut, 35th, 11th. If I can get those results out of a guy 7,300, 8,400, I'm going to take it. Billy Horschel has shown that he can do this on tour a lot. He does this like once a year where he just goes on a rampage and then suddenly sucks. So I'm going to bank on him continuing to be good this week because I think this is a course that fits him well. Kevin Na I also really like. Both sites, big fan of Kevin Na this week. His caddy is a local here. He has good results here, and he's been consistent lately, even if he hasn't had the most upside outside of his win. So I think Kevin Na, oh God, what did I do? Who was this? Brandon Grace. Okay. Sorry, Brandon Grace, just deleted you. Got to put you back on the sheet. Kevin Na I really like. Grace I'm going to be off of, actually. He just hasn't been great recently, and he hasn't been that consistent Brandon Grace, and that worries me. Ryan Moore, I see merit in GPPs. The 3 missed cuts worries me because it's not like Ryan Moore has fundamentally changed as a player since these years. I mean, he's still the same guy. Can't putt at all. Short game, not amazing. Kind of worries me. I think he's a GPP play. You look at the last 5 results for him. 3 top 15s, but also 2 results outside of 55th. I think that's a prime GPP play. Combined with the 3 missed cuts here, I do not trust him whatsoever. Bryson, I think, is a strong GPP play. 3 bogeys in a row to miss the cut at the PGA has to hurt, but I think that's also... I mean, it's hard to say when you miss the cut that it's kind of a skewed result, but I think it kind of is when you look at it. I mean, 3 bogeys to miss the cut in a row. I mean, if those came at any other points in rounds, we'd be looking at Bryson saying, "Oh, I missed the cut." But I think these are circumstances in which, maybe he bounces back strong here. Kisner, I'm going to be off of Kisner. I'm just not a big Kisner guy. Stuart Sink, love Stuart Sink. Super consistent. One of the top approach games on tour this year, believe it or not. I am all in on Stuart Sink, all formats. I think he's a great, consistent, safe play this week. Kyle Stanley, more of a GPP play for me. He's like GPP Stuart Sink. Keegan, I don't really love Keegan this week. I don't love it. Fade for me. Berger, fade for me. He's played 3 weeks in a row with that wrist injury from the PGA. I mean, I don't know if it's affecting him or not. Maybe at the PGA it just happened and he was just fighting through it. Major adrenaline, I don't know. But to come here after a miscut at an event that he should have done well at, that he's done well at in the past, worries me a little bit. I'm going to be off of Berger. I think Schwartzel is in play given his recent results, but I don't love that at all. I mean, I won't have any actually. I'm just gonna put him in red because I'm not gonna have any. Luke List, I'm not gonna have any. Hoffman, I'm not gonna have any. I think he's consistent, but I think I just realized that he is 6,800. I think that's just a pure price play. Like if you're looking at a guy that if you have $6,800 left and you want the best player at that price, it's Charlie Hoffman. So I like that. Kokrak, I'm going to be off. Thank you for that. Oh, Kokrak is I had him in cash last week. Yeah, 57th. Dope performance, buddy. Brian Gay. I like Brian Gay a lot in GPPs here. This is another one of those courses that might fit his game really well. CT Pan. I would be on him more if it wasn't for a heartbreak last week. I mean, he put a driver out of bounds in the playoff, basically lost the tournament right there to Sneds. So CT Pan for me, guy that maybe if he finished like 7th last week, was never really like in contention to win, never had that chance, never had that disappointment. I'd be on him heavy here, but I think he might kind of have a downer week. Danny Lee, look at this recent form. This is peak Danny Lee. Miscut, DQ, 21st, 6th, 24th. This is prime for a Danny Lee, like, withdrawal. I mean, that's just what he does. So for me, GPP only. Won't have any myself, most likely, but I see the merit in it more than I do with a guy like Kokrak, or List, or Schwartzel, or Berger. Streelman, bad form, but good results here in the past. I think that's worth GPP play. His price, 7,300 on FanDuel, is just stupid cheap. Even if he misses the cut at that price, you're not really dead. You could fit 5 great players with that. So, Kirk, this is more of a DraftKings play. I'll give him that. Streelman's more of a FanDuel play for me. Hoffman, more of a DraftKings play. I'm going to try to highlight these pricing discrepancies when I see them. Abraham Answer, been sneaky good recently. I think he might be in play for GPPs strictly based on just kind of how under the radar he's been. I mean, 3 top 25s in his last 5 isn't bad for a guy at this price. Kevin Tway, also been strong recently, but I'm not going to be on him very much. I don't see this course fitting him. Same goes for Varner. I'm off of Varner now. I'm going to leave Tway in black because I don't really have a strong take one way or the other. Dahman, I think, is a guy that if he gets super popular, you fade. But right now, the way he's been striking the ball, you play him. Not a cash play for me, but I do see the merit in GPPs if you're going stars and scrubs. Martin Laird, going to be a fade for me. I don't really see, sure, he did well here twice in the past, but he's just been not good for a long enough time. Austin Cook, I like. William McGirt, I am going to be fading. that is pretty much all for me this week. I think you have a pretty good idea now of who I'm playing. Let me just sort this by DraftKings price so you can see kind of a better look at how things sort up DraftKings wise. The 8K range is going to be super strong. It's got a lot of chalk in it. 9K range, I think Rose, Rahm, Molinari, and Spieth are going to be chalk to different degrees. Probably Rose and Rahm at the top. Spieth might overtake Rahm, but I don't necessarily see it happening, or I don't see the merit in it. Molinari will probably fly under the radar, but I really like him a lot. Koepka will probably fly under the radar despite coming off of a major win. 7K range, I think Woodland is the strongest play. I really like Poulter. I really like Na. I like Sink. I like Horschel the most there. If you're looking for bargain bin guys, I like Hoffman as a cheap guy. Kirk, Dahmen, Answer. Those would be my cheap guys on DraftKings. FanDuel, I really like Streelman at 7,300, Dahmen 7,500, Answer 7,900. That is all I've got for you this week. If you've got questions, 1v1s, lineup questions, construction, 2v2s, one and done, that kind of stuff, head-to-head bets, hit me up in the chat. I'll be there. You know where to find me. FanCave DFS Slack. We're on Discord now. Discord chat room. I'll be there at mandrews93 DFS on Twitter. You can find me there. You can slide in the DMs with your questions. You can send them to me. I'll retweet them with answers. Try to help the people. So best of luck this week, and let's begin these playoffs with a good week. See ya.